There's a long list of benefits to practicing meditation that you and your loved ones might not even know about. And knowing about these benefits could be the one doorway to changing your life, saving someone else's life, or just even simply making yourself live a happier, healthier life. My name's Candy, and if you don't know me, I like to make content on all things wellness, physical wellness, mental wellness, and spiritual wellness. And I am a certified personal trainer, group fitness instructor, 200-hour meditation teacher, and overall I consider myself a wellness coach because I want to be a wellness hub for you and anyone that you may know. As I'm growing my channel, please let anyone else know about my content if you enjoy what you're going to watch today. All right, so let's go over some of these benefits. Let's get into it. So let's first start out with what is meditation? Let's define it. So what meditation really actually is the practice of cultivating a sense of awareness, which really means bringing yourself to presence, being aware of what's going on around you, what's going on within you, physically and in your mind, being aware of it and just letting it go, just being present, being you, just embodying yourself, just existing. Stillness, having presence and stillness, most of all, awareness. And that is so important because there's a lot of misconceptions about meditation, what it really is. And I have a video on the myths of meditation that it'll be up here somewhere. And you can click it and watch it. And that way you can know, okay, what's all the things that meditation is not? What does it not entail of? Like, what does it not mean for you to do meditation? And then you can just sit with this definition of, okay, meditation just means to be aware of myself, to have this practice of constant awareness. And it's not even just yourself, it could be like, your environment around you too. It'll translate to things around you. So that's the simplest way to explain what meditation is. Okay, so benefit number one, I think is the most important thing for people to know, but a lot of people don't, is that meditation actually regulates your nervous system. And so with your nervous system, if it deals with how your brain functions, how you respond to things, obviously you want to be able to respond and function at the most optimum, right? Like you want to be sharp, you want to be able to respond well, right? And so meditation can help you do that. And it can bring your mind and body to a state of balance. So I think the best way to give you an example of this is when you think of back thousands of years ago, when I guess, people didn't really have homes, right? And you were living out in nature and things are just more simple, right? And you're more exposed to the elements and animals, right? And I guess you could say back when there was cavemen, right? So when you think about that time, you'll have hunter-gatherers, right? And they're fighting off different animals, right? Or just in general, when there's war, right? Basically, the mind, when it goes through a state of stress, when it goes through any kind of situation that is perceived as a threat, the stress hormones in our body will be released. And so when that happens, there's a few things. Your blood thickens, right, to stop you from bleeding. So that way, it's like a survival mechanism. So when you're stressed, your body does a survival process. And so blood will thicken. So if you're cut, like back in the day, caveman fight tigers, whatever, maybe they wouldn't immediately bleed, right? Because the body is guarding to the stress of oh, I gotta be alert, right? Hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, or I guess the scientific term is norepinephrine, that gets released throughout your mind and it responds within your body physically. And so those stress hormones, of course, they have serve its purpose in the moment to help us survive, right? And going through little moments of stress in general can afterwards you can feel a sense of reward from that. But basically, when we're in a state of stress, these days, ironically, even though a lot of us aren't fighting off tigers and other crazy things like that, we still go through stress in different ways, right? And so a lot of the time people who are like depressed and anxious, right? Like I've gone through anxiety and depression a lot in my life, and sometimes I would still struggle with it. But those states of stress, basically, like if you're going through anything and it's not resolved right away, you can basically develop depression and anxiety in that way. It can also be genetic, but basically that's how you can cultivate a sense of this like overwhelmment within your body. Those stress hormones are released within you, and you don't want that to be constant. And so basically, describing this in the most simplest way scientifically is that when you meditate, basically you're allowing yourself to slow down, because when you're stressed out and you feel like you're in some perceived threat mode, your breath will be shortened. Okay, so like I said, the blood thickens, your breath will be shortened. Your reproductive system shuts down because it's focused on survival. Your system of like feeling hungry, your hunger will stop, but you need to eat, right, to nourish yourself. So basically it's like staying in that state of stress, yeah, no bueno, right? You don't want that. But when you meditate, it releases serotonin by allowing your breath to slow down, because when you're stressed, you're not noticing. Maybe your breath is really fast, your heart beats really fast too, you start sweating, right? Those are all of your body's functions doing what it needs to do to help you survive any kind of perceived threat, right? And that happens even for normal situations in everyday life now. If it's like financial stress now, like that can somehow like be happening for us within us in certain ways, maybe not the sweat part as much, but maybe your heart beats faster, maybe your breath is shorter as you think about something you're stressed about. So meditation helps you to slow down. It helps you to be able to notice your breath. You're able to go deeper with it. You let your mind know, okay, I am calm, I am okay, I'm not in front of some saber-toothed tiger, some creature trying to fight me, like I'm all right. And so meditation can help release that chemical of serotonin to combat the stress hormones within you. And then also dopamine can be released as well, most especially if you do like fast active breath work, but I can go into that in a different video. So that's what meditation can do to balance out your mind and body. Like releasing serotonin is so important within your body. It'll help you sleep, it'll help you eat, helps you feel calm within yourself. It just helps to combat those stress hormones. You need a regular amount of like serotonin within your body. And I know based on circumstances, if you like have been anxious or depressed throughout your life, if it's hereditary, you had depression in your family, like I understand, because it's like that for my family too, and PTSD and all that, generational trauma, all that. But that's why meditation is so important, because it allows you to be grounded and allows you to know, like, okay, like I have control over what's happening within me, so I can use my own breath for that, and that's an amazing, beautiful thing. I want to go deeper into it, but I think I touched up on that pretty deeply, on the science on how that can work. And really just the power of your breath being slow, it really can help your mind know, like, I'm okay. Like, that, really connect that for a second. It's not just, oh, I'm breathing. But we don't think when we breathe, like, naturally, right? Like, we take it for granted sometimes, A lot of us breathe into our neck. We don't actually, we actually don't breathe as deeply as we probably should be on a regular basis. But if you take that time to just pause, even if it's just 5 minutes in a day, then you'll feel calmer, you'll feel more relaxed, you'll be able to get like more grounded within your situation. Okay, and so this brings me to benefit number 2, definitely linked to the last point, is that if you meditate consistently for up to 2 months, there are studies that show that the stress part of your brain, called the amygdala, and that shrinks down, and then the reward system part of your brain, the happy part of your brain, cognitive function part, called the hippocampus, that actually can grow and expand. And why is that important, right? Because if you're stressed out, especially consistently, the amygdala, stress part of your brain, right, if that's big, then you're just constantly allowing stress to be within your mind, and it's just easier to feel stress all the time, right? And if you're able to meditate and then make that smaller, your capacity for stress can get smaller. And I know depending on what goes on in our lives, you know, if you have a lot that's going on, like me, myself, I picked up a lot of obligations this year. And, you know, definitely wasn't something I expected. And so it has been a challenge for me personally. And I can give a whole another video on my whole life story and whatnot and how meditation changed my life. But definitely, you know, it has helped a lot for me personally, and being able to process stress more and work through that and realize that, okay, not everything is just a big ball of stress, but literally in your mind, like, you're able to like feel less stressed easily about a lot of things. You know, and it may not be perfect, but definitely there's studies that show that. And I can actually link you to a video here, or maybe it'll be up here. I don't know which side it's going to be, but it's how I learned about meditation and what it does in the brain when I first started getting trained for this to be a meditation teacher. And so the moving on to the hippocampus, reward system, cognitive part of our brain. When you meditate, because you're releasing all this serotonin and dopamine within you, I think I'm blanking on one other happy, positive chemical for some reason, but if you can write it here, I will. Basically, it's like when you meditate more, then you allow for more of that in, right? Because that capacity within you will be happening since you do it repetitively. You'll be creating it as a lifestyle for yourself. And we do want to feel happy, right? So, you know, if you're able to do consistent meditation, it doesn't have to even be up to 2 months, depending on what's going on in your life. But you can even just in general notice effects doing meditation for a week. You will notice some kind of difference for sure, because it's a new thing you're taking on as a habit. You can notice the difference within a week, within a month. I said a week already. So that's why, you know, it doesn't have to be like a long period of time that you feel benefits from meditation. A lot of people think it takes a long time to get the benefits. You definitely will feel some kind of immediate benefit just from feeling calm or breathing, but then definitely a week later, okay, I noticed more. A month later, oh wow, I noticed more. 2 months later, you definitely will notice a huge difference in how like you're able to handle situations. And I can say for myself that it also helped me a lot when I was extremely depressed little over 2 years ago, and I just felt like everything was out to get me, everything was against me, you know, and it helps you not think like that. All right, I don't want to take too much longer talking about this, but I definitely watch the video that I link above, and then in general, like if there's any other questions, or maybe I can make a part 2 video more about even the science of it within the brain. All right, so benefit number 3 is really cool, and I don't think a lot of people know it at all, to be honest. And it requires a little bit of explanation, so I'll try to like simple this down. But basically, meditation can help us live longer and keep our DNA younger. It keeps you younger. I know that sounds crazy, but really actually think about it, right? So in our body, from biology class, we learned that our cells constantly regenerate, right? Like we're just a whole being of cells just constantly regenerating that we don't even see physically. You need a microscope for that. But when you're stressed, right? I mentioned that earlier. I mentioned earlier that when we're stressed, it can stop our reproduction system too, which in general, everything will stop that allows you to just like exist like comfortably, right? It's like to help you survive. But when you meditate, if it helps to calm you down, right, and you're less stressed, then you also do live longer scientifically. And there's studies that show that. I'm not just making this up. I also will link another video above if you want to watch that. But in general, yes, like if you're allowing yourself to stay calmer, and then your breath is like, you know, calm and it's deeper, and it's not like short breaths, like, you know, really think about it. Like small animals like mice, you know, like they have really short breathing patterns because they're really tiny, and then they have shorter lifespans. As bigger animals, we are technically mammals, animals, like we have a longer lifespan because, you know, we can breathe deeper, we have a bigger lung capacity. And oh, that's another benefit too I can talk about. But yeah, so there's something called telomeres that are in our DNA. It's part of our DNA and how the cells reconstruct our cells. Basically, studies have shown that telomeres within our DNA, they have like an end piece to them. If you think of a shoelace and it has like that plasticky end piece, So that's like what is at the end of our telomeres in our cells, right? So basically, when you meditate, it can help those telomeres exist for longer. Because when the telomeres go out, like when our cells are constantly regenerating, at some points those end pieces get shorter and shorter and shorter, right? And so if you're stressed, that will basically accelerate that, right? And there's like just proof from life, like if someone's like always constantly depressed, they have a shorter lifespan, right? If someone's physically in some physical stress, could be some physical diseases and such, like your body will have a shorter lifespan, right? And that's something that's good to know. That meditation can keep our DNA young, helps us be less stressed, so then we can live longer. And that'll lead me to my next benefit. So this is the final benefit I want to share about meditation, because I probably could make more parts to this video. But basically, meditation can help with illnesses and diseases, like help prevent them, most importantly. And if you really think about it, within our body, a lot of diseases and illnesses can manifest through stress. A lot of it honestly manifests through emotional stress within us. Like one of the best examples is hypertension, like high blood pressure. That's what that hypertension is. If you're constantly stressed, like you're always arguing with someone all the time, right? Like you constantly, like if you think of the example of mom and dads, you're always arguing, and then some of them don't have high blood pressure, is because they're always in a constant state of stress, like arguing all the time. Like, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about my family history, but yeah, that happened in my family history. So yes, high blood pressure is a big, like, that's one thing, right? That can happen emotionally from within you. Like if your heart is constantly in a fast pumping pace, and you're just like, you're just like heated, constantly stressed like that. And that's literally how you would get hypertension and get a heart attack. And like, honestly, like if you think of like TV shows and stuff, you know how like, oh, the mom or something in some show would say like, oh, don't make him mad, he'll get a heart attack or whatever, It's because that's actually true. The stress in your body and the physical responses that I talked about earlier that happen within you, like if you're in a constant state of stress, especially if you have hypertension within you, you are more prone to a heart attack. So, meditation will be able to calm you down, give you that serotonin so you don't end up experiencing that. And that's one example, but another one could be like memory loss. Meditation is scientifically proven and linked to helping with memory loss and dementia. Trying to think of what's the other one, Alzheimer's? Most likely dementia, I think though, but I can also link below in the description like a list of some kind of article or a list of medical conditions that meditation can help to manage or prevent, because if you have a chronic illness and you're already within a chronic illness, maybe it won't rid of it completely. Like, you never know. The power of your own breath and how it can help you regenerate your cells. It's not to be taken lightly. But in general, like it can help to manage chronic illnesses. It can help to prevent you from getting certain diseases and illnesses. And it's so important to know that the stress within your body is more than just emotional. It literally is a physical response within your body. And the power of your own breath and being able to slow down and to help your mind feel calm, to feel centered and grounded and collected. Like, there's so much power to that. And, for some people it is life or death, like if someone discovered meditation today, then maybe would it help their illness get managed and it can prolong their life, or it can help to reverse any like early symptoms of what they could end up facing later on, if they didn't start meditating. Yeah, I can definitely share more benefits in part 2 video if you think that this was helpful. I just don't want to make this video too long. So yeah, just to wrap up, if you guys liked what I shared today, or if anything resonated with you, if it felt like in any way like eye-opening or light bulb moment came up for you, then please share below in the comments. I would like to know like your experience from these learnings, or if it's something that like you've experienced and then meditation helped you. Please share, because you never know who you might relate to, who comes across the video and maybe they're going through a similar thing. And I really want to build a community where we can feel like we're connected and we're helping each other. And I want you to feel supported too. And if you need any support, like I'll pop down in the comments and show you some love. Sometimes I'm a little slow at commenting, but I try my best. your girl's busy a bit. You know, I'm all over the place these days. Yes, please, in any way, like the video if it really did help you in any kind of way, felt beneficial, because it'll help YouTube know that my video is, you know, liked in some kind of way, that it's helping people, that's favored in some way. So if it really is, please like it. Share to anyone you think may need this information, and definitely subscribe, because I have more content that I want to make that's like this, and just, you know, workout videos, meditation videos. Like I said, I want to be a wellness hub for you. So subscribe, click that notification bell so you can know anytime I do have a new video. All right. So on that note, please be kind to yourselves. Try your best to incorporate any practice like this into your life in any kind of way, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. All right. I love you guys. One love. Peace out. So if you like this video, I have a special treat for you that I think you'll love. So me and my friend Kelsey, who's a yoga instructor, is collaborating with me to create this 7-week journey where you can learn all the benefits of meditation, yoga, and how to incorporate those techniques to not only create a sense of like peace and balance within yourself, but also be able to manifest the life that you want and deserve. And so manifestation, we manifest all the time, sometimes without even realizing it. Unconsciously, things happen due to our own actions and our thoughts and our beliefs. And so our 7-week journey is meant to help cultivate the sense of awareness over that, take control over that, and also, most importantly, in a group of like-minded individuals. We want to create a community where people just want to help others and help us be the best versions of ourselves and help the world heal together. So if that sounds like you, something that you're interested in, then I encourage you to click that link below in the description box. Take a look at that and all that we got to offer for that. And we hope to see you there.